Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Matthew Davis, the Head of Technical Department at Killgerm Chemicals. Killgerm are a manufacturer and distributor of public health pest control products, and we also provide training. And today we're going to talk through the Exodus unit. This is a cold fogging device for application of public health insecticides. Products that can be used for this machine include Aquapie Micro, Vasor ULV 500, and Killgerm ULV 1500, which is particularly for use on aircraft. Just some key things that we need to have in preparation before thinking about using the Exodus unit and doing a cold fogging treatment. We need to make sure we've got access to the appropriate product label, as well as the material safety data sheet and the instructions guide for the Exodus unit itself. The label contains information about application rates, safety precautions, and various directions for use, including exclusion times and target pests. The material safety data sheet, most importantly, has a section on personal protective equipment. Just to run through the personal protective equipment in brief, for the purposes of this demonstration, you can certainly say I'm not wearing personal protective equipment. That's because the demonstration will be done with just tap water. In terms of personal protective equipment, you'll need to wear appropriate nitrile gloves when preparing the insecticide. You'll also need to wear eye protection, such as appropriate safety goggles. Respiratory protective equipment, such as a face mask, a half face mask or a full face mask with an A1P3 filter is required. That may be because if you're using the machine manually, you'll need to go back in to the treated area and turn that off. But we'll talk about the timer, which is an engineering control, and that's a real good way to reduce risk to operator and bystanders. You'll also need appropriate coveralls. Type 4, 5, 6 is what we recommend just to give the right level of protection there. So that's a range of personal protective equipment needed for the Exodus. Well, now I think we've got prepared. We have the right paperwork. We have the right personal protective equipment. It's also requirements in terms of use of biocides such as insecticides to have an appropriate risk assessment that identifies the hazard, which in this case would be the hazardous material, the insecticide, and identify the risks to yourself as the user and to bystanders. In the UK, we would call that a COSH assessment. There will be equivalent legislation for different parts of the world as well, but it's the same principle. And of course, before using these products, you do require adequate training, and Killgerm offer this training as well in terms of insecticide use. This isn't a training video in terms of insecticide competence, it's more about the practicalities of using the Exodus machine. In terms of preparing the ULV bottle containing the product, we just need to make sure a few things. It is a safety cap at the top. And of course, like I said earlier, if this was live products, we would be wearing full personal protective equipment. And just to reiterate, this is only water in this bottle. So we remove the cap, push, squeeze and turn to remove the cap. If this was live product, there would be a foil seal that covers the top of the cap, just here. And that needs to be manually peeled off and removed before we attach the bottle to the Exodus unit. We have had some cases where customers will attempt to attach the bottle to the machine and use the dip tube to pierce the foil. That should not be done. It will cause blockage of the machine. So again, remove that foil before attaching the bottle to the Exodus unit. Also note, this face of the bottle is flat, and that is the side that comes into the machine and allows it to lock into place with the supporting bracket. The next step is to attach the bottle to the Exodus unit. First, we need to disengage the holding bracket. You can see this is already in place, as it should be in storage. If it was disengaged, it may become damaged in storage, so we always need to keep it in place. So we'll just disengage that, like so. We'll take the bottle. Notice the flat side that goes against the wall of the unit. I'm going to gently push this upwards into the dip tube and then engage the holding bracket. The bottle is now secure. I did mention gently pushing the bottle onto the dip tube, which is here. And just behind the dip tube, you can see this tie-on seal. That's the only element of the machine that really requires any form of maintenance. Occasionally over time the seal will wear down slightly, and it's simply a push fit operation, so that seal can be removed and a new one pushed on in its place. The next step is to attach the power supply to the unit. So we're just going to introduce that power cable into here. And noting that the toggle switch is set to off, we're just now going to turn on the power at the main supply. You can flick the switch onto manual for manual operation. I'll do that now and you'll hear the motor of the machine. However, the main purpose of today is to look at the timer, which we toggle down. Now that the machine is powered on and we've hit the toggle to the timer setting, we now need to enter the PIN to unlock the machine. You will enter the PIN appropriate to your machine, and details are in the Exodus instruction booklet. For now, this is just an example. And I'll set that PIN to 1, 2, 3, 4, and notice you can toggle up or down and then select OK. With the PIN correctly entered and the machine unlocked, we can now see there are 4 options in terms of the treatment timer. The first option on display here is the 9-day option. This is where you can do 1 treatment each day at different times for up to 9 days. Second option to select is every day. This is 1 treatment each day at the same time continuously. Third option is all day. This is where you have up to 9 treatments each day, throughout the day, every day continuously. Finally, the interval treatment. This is continuously repeating weight, then treatment, up to 23 hours apart. And these are the 4 options. We're now on the 9-day treatment option. And as mentioned previously, this is where 1 treatment can be done each day at different times for up to 9 days. So we'll confirm selection of that with OK. We now need to set the current time. So just for ease, we'll say that it is 10 o'clock. We'll now set when the treatment should commence. I have previously set a treatment to come on at 3 minutes past 10, and that remains in the memory bank, but I'll demonstrate that one. So we'll 10 o'clock, and just for interest, we'll set that to commence maybe at 5 minutes past 10. We could go down to 4, we could go down to 3. That just shows how you can change the timing with the arrows. So we'll click OK. The treatment will commence at 2 minutes past 10. And now we want to select the duration of the treatment. So we'll go through hours and minutes here, and we'll actually select, it's on 10 seconds. We could go up to 20 seconds. We could even go in between and go to 24, 25 seconds. All the various options are there in terms of changing the duration of the treatment. So I'll select OK there. The timer then cycles through the options. We know that treatment 1 will commence at 2 minutes past 10 for a duration of 25 seconds. Now to set that second treatment, number 2 is flashing up there. We'll select a second treatment. And this one, just for argument's sake, let's set it at a different time to begin that treatment. So 25 past 10 for the commencement of the second treatment. And again, we can change the duration. So a 15-second treatment in the second part. Now we've got the option to set a third treatment. We're not going to do this because we've demonstrated enough with the first 2 treatments. So to come out of this cycle, we'll hit OK. And what we do now is to select midnight. This pulls you out of the cycle. We're happy we've made the right settings, and we can't set any treatment at midnight. This is our way to exit the options. The second timer option is the everyday treatment. That's one treatment each day at the same time, and that carries on continuously. So select OK. The current time, we'll call that 10 o'clock. And every day we might decide that we want a treatment to occur at, say, 11 o'clock. Next we'll set the duration. We'll go for a short treatment time of just 10 seconds every day at 11 o'clock, and again the timer cycles through our options. We're now on to the third timer option, which is the all day setting. Here we can do up to 9 treatments each day, throughout the day, every day continuously. We'll set the current time as 10 o'clock. And what the next thing to do is we're going to set the time for when we want the treatment to commence. And we set this one previously at 1 o'clock in the morning. So we can do that. And what we want to do is then set the duration. So we could set it for 20 seconds. So that first treatment of the day would commence at 1 o'clock in the morning for 20 seconds. We can now set that second treatment. That could be done at, say, 7 o'clock in the morning. And the duration, let's go for 15 seconds. So in normal working conditions there, we've got 2 settings that would normally be out of hours. We could actually set a third treatment to occur at the close of the day, when workers have left, as an example. So the third treatment time during that day, let's do it on the 24-hour clock. We'll do it at 6 p.m, so 1800 hours. And we'll do a short treatment for that one. Let's go for just a simple one of 10 seconds. You can exit that now by selecting midnight. And there we have the demonstration of the all-day setting. The fourth and final setting is the interval setting for the timer. This is where you have a continuously repeating wait period, then the treatment. That wait period between treatments can be up to 23 hours apart. So I'll select OK. What we're going to do is to select the wait period between treatments. Let's set that as 8 hours. So we'll have a treatment every 8 hours on a continuous cycle. We'll now set the treatment duration. We'll just pick 10 seconds for ease and select OK. There we can see every 8 hours there will be a 10-second treatment. Just to explain a newer feature on the Exodus unit, what we've got is a thermal overload button, which is just here. If the machine had been overused, hadn't been allowed to cool properly, and it started to overheat, then it would be too hot in the motor and that thermal overload button would have popped out. Very simple remedy for this one. Just allow that machine to cool for 30 minutes push that button in to reset, and then we can go again. Just a reminder from me as well, you must make sure that you follow the product instructions in terms of the product label and the Exodus instructions. A key part of this application is to work out the volume of the space that you need to treat. Length times width times height. Refer back to the product label and the ready reckoner table within the instructions to calculate the right dosage, the right treatment time for that allotted volume. Now we'll see the dispensation of the liquid treatment from the Exodus.